solving first degree equations. This should just be a review for you. First, we want to simplify each side of the equal sign separately, and then we're going to use the multiplication property of equality and the addition property of equality, not in that order, scratch that, reverse it, and that will be it. Our goal is to get y on this one side of the equal sign by itself. So let's distribute. Okay, we're going to look at this side by itself, see if we can simplify it. We'll distribute this -2, and we'll distribute on the other side. We'll try to simplify it by itself. We'll distribute this 3. Okay, add any like terms that you can. So we will have 2y minus 6 and 3y minus 3. Okay, next step is to use the addition property of equality to move things to various sides. For example, we will subtract 2y from both sides, and we will also add 3 to both sides. So we have -3 equals y. Okay, we got y on the side by itself, so we are done. Okay. Next, let's take a look at this one. We have 2x over 3 plus 1/2 equals x over 4 minus 9/2. This one is exactly like the one that we just did, except that it has fractions, which is really no different. Okay, you can do it exactly the same way that we did the one that we just completed, but let's say fractions are not your best friend and you don't want to do it with fractions. We can remove the denominators first. So the way we can get rid of these denominators is to find the least common denominator and multiply by it. So we have 3, 2, 4, and 2 as our denominators. The least common denominator is going to be 12. So if we multiply by 12 on both sides, we will have, here, let me change colors real quick. We're going to have 12, okay, times this, 12 times this, 12 times this one, and 12 times this one. Okay, so what happens when you multiply this times 12 is this will cancel out and become 4. Okay, so 4 times 2x is 8x. Okay. Right here it will cancel out and become 6. So 6 times 1 is 6. Here it will cancel and become a 3. So 3 times x is 3x. And here it will cancel and become a 6. So 6 times -9 is -54. Alright, so we have this is a same simple simplified equation, okay? And we can solve for x. Maybe perhaps a little bit easier. Okay, so let's subtract 3x from both sides. Subtract 3x from this side as well. Minus 3x. Okay, and we will subtract 6 from both sides. So we have 5x equals -60. Now let's divide both sides by 5. And so we have x equals -12. Great. Let's look at another one. Okay, this time we have variables in the denominator. Notice with this one, there were no variables in our denominator. This one does have variables in the denominator, so it makes it different. Okay, the reason, so this one, so because it has the variables in the denominator, we can't do it the same way that we did the first one. Remember I said for the second one you could do it the same way, it wouldn't matter, it's just fractions. This time, we can't do it that way, but we can do it this way. So we're going to find the least common denominator, and we are going to multiply by it on this third one. Okay? So we have y minus 4, and this is actually just 3 over 1. So the least common denominator is y minus 4. So we're going to multiply by y minus 4 on both sides. Y minus 4, y minus 4, and y minus 4. Okay, so what happens in the first one when we multiply by y minus 4 is they cancel out, which is super convenient. That's what we're hoping for. Okay, this y minus 4 actually cancels out as well, and then we have negative 3 times y minus 4. This one doesn't cancel out. Remember to distribute. Okay, this is a negative 3. Okay, negative 3 times y is negative 3y, and negative 3 times negative 4 is plus 12. Be very careful with your negatives. This is definitely the most common mistake I see with this, is people forgetting to distribute this negative to the 4. Okay, so we have this equation. This we can solve. Let's go ahead and simplify both sides by adding like terms. So this is negative 3y plus 44. Okay, we can add 3y to both sides. If we add 3y, we'll have 11y equals 44. Divide both sides by 11, so y is 4. Great. Okay, let's look at one more example of an equation. In this one, there are several variables, and we want to solve for x. Okay, so solve for x. Get x on the side by itself. Okay. So let's start by the same thing. We're going to distribute 32 minus 8x plus 6p equals negative 5k minus yx. Now we're going to rearrange things by using the addition property that lets us move things over, so that we have all of the things that have x's in them, all the terms that have x's in them on one side of the equal sign, and all the terms that do not on the other. So let us subtract. Maybe we'll add 11x or subtract 11x. Either way, we're going to go ahead and move the x's to this side, I think. So we'll add 11x to both sides, 11yx to both sides, add 11yx to this side, and then we also want to subtract 6p from both sides to get it over here, and we want to subtract 32 from both sides. Subtract 32. Okay, great. Okay, so cancels, cancels, cancels. We get negative 8x plus 11yx equals negative 5k minus 6p minus 32. Okay, now we can factor out an x. Okay, these two terms can't be added together, and that would be what we would want to do, but we can't because there's an extra y in here, so we can factor out an x. So let's do that. X equals negative 8 plus 11y. Okay, and that equals the same. Okay, this can't be simplified. There are no like terms over here. Okay. Then we can divide both sides by, this is x times negative 8 plus 11y. So if we divide by it, then we can move it to the other side. Negative 5k, 6p, negative 32 divided by, okay, we're dividing by negative 8 plus 11y on both sides. Alright, and then that is our final answer.